me the money. I need to feel you, Jerry. Show me the money. Jerry, you better yell. Show me the money. Show me the money. Congratulations, you're still my agent.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Filmmakers Focus. I'm Doc Kennedy. This week's special guest is Ashley Noelle Jackson. Ashley is an actress based out of the Tacoma, Washington area. Her blog, thefearlessactress.com, is inspiring actors and actresses across the globe. And the reason I played that opening clip is because part of our conversation is how to find an agent. And I believe what Ashley has to share on the subject, dare I say, is a game changer. So a quick reminder, if you could please share this episode, that is greatly appreciated. I know it doesn't take much effort on your part, and it does a lot on this end. And if you could head over to iTunes and leave a review, good, bad, whatever. I appreciate all feedback, and it helps us gain recognition in the iTunes search engine. So with that said, here is our conversation with the fearless actress herself, Ashley Noelle Jackson.
And now our feature presentation.
Welcome to the show, Ashley.
Oh, thank you so much, Doc, for having me.
I came across your blog the other day, which really intrigued me, thefearlessactress.com. So can you share with us a little bit about that and some of your story and how you've gotten to this point?
Wow. Okay. So in particular with the Fearless Actress blog, I started it because I feel like I am on a journey to becoming that fearless actress. And I just wanted to share a little bit about myself to whomever wanted to read it. And there's information out there, of course, about getting your foot in the door, how to get started. But, of course, I'm me, and I wanted to share my perspective. So what ended up happening was I had a job with a local PBS affiliate, and I was working at the front desk because I did want to learn more about film. And so I was like, okay, what better place to start? Let me see what's out there. So I applied for that job at the front desk, and I got it. But it didn't turn out the way that I thought it would. I wanted to network. I wanted to meet more people. But I was really confined at that 8-to-5 job. So I was like, well, this is not really working. My passion is to act, among other things, but I really want to get my acting career off the ground. So I started connecting with anybody and everybody I could. I started connecting with the Tacoma Filmmakers group here, started connecting with the Seattle Artists group out in Seattle, contacted Women in Film, started getting my name out there. And then on August 15th, I took a leap of faith and I quit my job.
Wow.
And my very first blog post was how I came to that point. And so since then, I've been just networking my butt off, and just every week I will post something new about something I've learned or my journey on set and how you can get started too.
I love that. Yeah, and I've read your blog posts. They're intriguing. So What does being a fearless actress or actor really mean to you?
For me, being a fearless actress does not mean that you live without fear. It means that you go out to that audition or you go out into the world with courage despite having that fear. Because sometimes, as actresses or as actors, we put our emotions on the line. We are constantly being judged on how we look like, how we sound. Just from top to bottom, we're constantly critiqued. And some people, they don't have that fortitude to handle that. They don't know how to channel that. But being fearless means that despite those challenges, you go out there anyway and you show the world what you got.
So take us back to the first time that you ever did audition. What did that look like for you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is hilarious. So my very, very, very first audition, I'm going to take it back to grade school.
Okay. Yeah.
I was in fifth grade, and I had an audition for, it was this rendition of Three Little Pigs or something like that. And I did the audition. I was nervous, but I got one of the biggest parts, right?
Yeah.
And then went to perform, and I completely blanked.
Oh, no.
I mean, oh, my God. I forgot all of my lines.
Oh.
I forgot everything. I just broke out in a cold sweat, and then they had to shut the show down.
Oh, no.
They had to shut it down because I was carrying the weight of the show, and I forgot all my lines. I didn't know what else to say. And one lesson I've learned from that is when you go to an audition, nothing's ever certain. Never go to an audition believing that you have it 100%. Because somebody out there can be doing just as much or even more work than you are. So you always want to be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, whenever you do go to an audition, it's not it is a competition, but it's not as cutthroat as people may think it is. You are going to be going on this journey, and you're going to be running into your friends, and you're going to sometimes you can run into family. I've run into so many friends in this field auditioning for the same role. It is all about the camaraderie and just putting your best foot forward. Those are the two main lessons I've learned from that experience.
Yes, I'd agree with that 100%. When I'm out, I do acting myself, and when I'm out auditioning, I never feel like I am competing. And I have a competitive side. I love to compete. So I'll compete with myself, but I don't feel like I'm competing with someone else because I know that they're just going to choose whoever's right for that part. If it's not me, maybe it's not because I didn't bring the goods. It was just because I didn't fit that part as well as someone else might have.
Absolutely.
So then that's not a knock on myself, and I can take a breath of fresh air and be like, okay, we're just moving on to the next thing where I might be a better fit for that.
That is so true. That is so true. And a lot of times, especially earlier when I was starting, of course, taking this seriously professionally, I would get so nervous. I would be like, okay, this is it. If I don't get this role, it is the end of the world. And that's crazy.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy. And so as I've gone on this journey, especially with the acting pros class I've taken, you have to think of it as a game. You have to think of it as you're playing. It's fun. Yeah. And those casting directors there, the people that are watching you, they don't want you to suck. They want you to have fun. They want you to play too. And they want to see that you enjoy what you do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So just backtracking a little bit, thinking about your fifth grade experience, that could have totally set you back for good. How were you able to overcome that?
Oh, that's so funny that you said that. Yeah, I of course, at that point, I was like, I'm never doing that ever again. That's crazy.
For sure.
But, it was just, how people, it's kind of cliche to say that something chose you and instead of you choosing it. It was all the time I was surrounded by the arts growing up. And so my mom loved to sing. My dad loved music. And it was just something that was always cyclical. And so one thing that set me on this journey is when I got to 10th grade. Yeah, like 5 years later. Oh, my gosh. When I got to 10th grade, they had auditions for Guys and Dolls, the musical. Okay. And of course, I was scared out of my mind. I was like, whoa, I don't know if I should do this. And I had a lot of people, a lot of my friends were saying, hey, you should actually try it. And that's when that courage stepped back in. Like, why not try it? Why not do it again to overcome that fear of failure, And so I did it to see what would happen. And I got the part of General Cartwright. Wow. And so it just always takes that little extra step of faith because you never know, you'll never know what happens. The worst thing they can say is no, okay, whatever, then you brush it off and you move on. But when they say yes, now you're called out to the carpet and now you you have something that you've always wanted. It's just, you can't fail, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great perspective. You can't fail. I mean, it's easy for us to think that we can fail. I've done stand-up comedy in my past. That's been a part of my past and part of my present too. But, you know, that idea that you can go on stage and fail, that can't be an option. That has to be, okay, we're going to try something. We're going to try something new. I don't know if people are going to like this as much as I do, but we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. And you know what? If they don't laugh, if they don't find it funny, you know, I'm going to go home and my friends will still love me. My family will still love me. And that's really the fearless perspective.
That's true. That is absolutely right. You hit the nail right on the head. At the end of the day, you still got your family, you still got your tribe, you still got your friends that love you. And it really isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, for sure. So I see that you're doing some commercial stuff as well. Are you mixing in performance stuff with commercial just to make ends meet, or is this something that you're pursuing?
Oh, great question. I adore both mediums. And so, yes, it's great to get some extra cash flowing in. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But what's most important is that I feel that I am whole as an artist. So I love going and doing commercial work and seeing how that process goes. And then I love going back and returning to my roots, so to speak, to the stage and starting back to the basics. It fills both needs that that I feel, and I guess it makes me a little insatiable.
So you were sharing with me a little bit about some of the online training that you've been doing. Can you share with our audience a little of that? Because that's something that anyone can do.
Absolutely. Okay, so this one course I'm doing, I absolutely love it. It's called Acting Pros, actingpros.com. And it's a blog, and it's also a online program that you can do to learn how to become get better at auditioning. And so Wendy Davis, she is the creator of it, and she talks about her process on how she started gaining more roles throughout this step-by-step process. And she teaches you to not think of auditioning as this monumental event, which is great because oftentimes us as actors or actresses, we think that we have to get this role or we're just doomed. And no, it's not it. She teaches it as a game, and you actually have a worksheet that you use, and it is based on a point system, how well you did with your audition. And it's really an amazing program, and I suggest any actor, it doesn't matter how long you've been in this wonderful world of acting, I suggest anyone who wants to learn more about auditioning to take that program.
How has that changed your approach? Have you seen it enhanced your process?
Oh my gosh, yes. I became more aware of who I am as a character, because a lot of times actors want to focus on just learning the lines real quick and then just spitting out the lines. And hopefully they get every single word right. And that is not what she teaches. She says, yes, you should, of course, memorize as much of the script as possible when you are going to an audition. Mm-hmm. But what she really presses on is memorizing that first and that last line of your script and having a powerful intention and how you are affecting the other person. Because it's not just about you and what you're saying, it is what you're trying to reveal in the scene. And so I have seen, even just getting into this musical, this past musical I've done, I've used that technique, and I felt so much more relaxed, and it became so much more fun because I had an intention of how I want to come across to this other character. I love it.
Yeah, and I think the key word there is fun. You know, if we're not having fun, there's a big problem.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
So one thing that we didn't mention is that you actually do have a degree in acting.
I do, yes. I do have a theater arts degree, yes.
And so for you to be doing these online courses on top of that,
Mm-hmm.
I think that shows another level of this desire to learn and to grow as an
Right.
actress. What would you say to those people that feel like maybe they don't need to be doing so much of the learning end, just getting out and doing it? Is it more important to be learning, or is it more important to be doing?
Oh, that's a good question. I think when you put yourself out there without the proper tools, you will look like a fool. just being completely honest. Now, there's a catch-22 to that. You don't want to spend your time in a classroom just learning theory. I kid you not. People will spend a lot of time thinking about, okay, the theory acting, okay, I need to know Meisner, I need to know Stanislavski, I need to know Uta Hagen, yes, that's great,
Yeah.
but if you're not implementing what you're learning, then it's futile. It doesn't matter. So what I suggest is, yes, you learn up to a certain point, then implement.
Mm-hmm.
Keep a journal, write down what you learned, what you screwed up on, what you did well on, learn again, implement. You have to go out there to see if you've retained the information and if it's working for you. Some acting courses and some theories that I've learned didn't work for me. I was like, okay, I have this degree. Just because you have a degree does not necessarily mean that you are a superstar. No, it's a grind. Everyone still has to learn. You still have to have that drive to want to be better than you were yesterday. So to answer your question, it's better to do both, but you got to figure out the balance.
This episode is brought to you by Biddy Casting, a simple casting management tool that creates visual casting calls and posts them to your online social networks and groups. I've used Biddy Casting myself, and what excites me most is the simplicity, both for the filmmakers and casting agents and actors. As an actor, all I had to do was click on the link, fill out a short form, add a pic, that's it. So easy. And it's that simple for the filmmaker and casting side too. Stop sorting your talent from your inbox. Check out biddycasting.com today and sign up for a free beta account. And also check out episode 15 of Filmmakers Focus to hear from Biddy Casting co-founder Ryan Nelson and get an in-depth look on Biddy Casting. Biddy Casting. Sort talent, not files. So one question that always pops up is about representation. How do I get an agent? How do I get represented? Can you walk us through some of that and maybe some tips that you would have for those people that are looking to have a little backing?
Okay. So my suggestion is a little unconventional because my story is a little bit different. So when I decided to look for an agent, before I even considered any of that, I connected with as many people and as many acting groups as possible first. That's what I suggest anybody who wants to get into acting do. You contact the production companies, you contact theater groups, and you contact film groups around your area first. Mm-hmm. Become friends with them. Learn from them. And then when you're in that environment, the people will want to help you because you are earnestly wanting to learn about the business because it is a business. It's not all about creativity, which is, of course, so wonderful, but it's also a business. Mm-hmm. So when you put yourself in a group of like-minded people, they start talking. And then once they start talking, you start hearing about, you will start hearing a lot of one or two particular companies that will come up, like production companies, different agencies that will come up in conversation over and over and over again. And then you start hearing the same thing over and over and over again. So then you're thinking, okay, I hear such and such agency, they must be really good because my actor friends all are represented by the same agent. Mm-hmm. So then what you do is when you're connected with those groups, you start helping out on their sets. Start helping out as a production assistant even. You want to be in the environment so much that you're soaked into it, and then you start learning the culture. And then you're going to start getting called on set as an actor, because soon enough they're going to need people that look like you, that talk like you, that act like you for a particular scene. So then you start, of course, weaving your way in. You're starting learning from the best, because the people that you're surrounded by are the best actors, you know. And so then you start learning their techniques. And then soon enough, you have a repertoire. You have a nice resume that you can use, because you've learned from the best on how to do that. And then they start talking about their people who they got headshots from. Then you start connecting with those people. And then soon enough, now you're ready to send your information off to an agent, because you've done the work, you connected with the right people, and you built your resume.
I love that. I think you laid that out better than anyone I've ever heard, because what I hear a lot is either forget about it, you know, which I unfortunately I hear that a lot, and I don't think that's a fair response. And then, or I'll hear, you know, that it's just luck or something like that. You earned it. You went out and worked it, and you actually earned it. And that's such a great way to go about anything. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so funny because I used to hear that a lot too. I used to hear that so often. And I'm like, no, I don't receive that. I don't receive that in my heart. No, there is a way to get it done. And one more thing about agents, just because you get an agent, let's say, you know, you've done the work and then you sign with the agent, your job does not stop there. You still got to keep that hustle going. You still find out those auditions. Now you have somebody who represents you, so you need to stay in constant communication with them, so they will know that you're still out here grinding like you say that you are. And then when they see that you're working hard, they're going to work hard for you.
Yeah, love that. So where do you see yourself a year from now?
A year from now? Wow. Oh, man, that is loaded. I have a lot of aspirations of what I want to do. But mainly I want to keep expanding my network as much as I can. I want to get on as many sets as I can and learning from the best that's out here. And hopefully, of course, start extending my reach out to Los Angeles. But everything, you know, it's all about God's timing. But what I want to do is continue on this path and continue to tell people what I'm up to. If anyone needs help, like, you can go to my blog, because I probably already went through it. But I just want to continue to grow as an artist, and I want to continue to hopefully be a blessing to people out here that's just getting started. Because it just comes down to some people just don't know. And I just want to hopefully be that resource for them so they can empower themselves.
That's great, Ashley. Well, this has been an honor for me. Look forward to working with you down the road. So how can people be getting in touch with you? Oh,
perfect. The best way is to go to my blog. My blog is, of course, www.thefearlessactress.com. And if anyone is actually interested in learning how to get started, or if you're struggling, I have also put up an opportunity to actually work with me, because I do have this system down on lock. So if you want to get in contact with me, that is the best way. Once again, the website is www.thefearlessactress.com.
Awesome. And we'll have links to that in the show notes. And we'll just say goodbye. Thank you again, Ashley.
Thank you. This was fun.
Dang, that was some awesome stuff. Thanks so much again, Ashley, for taking the time to come on and share and being honest. I love the honest opinions that she had to give us. So we recorded this last week, and a few days after that, we had the opportunity to meet in person, grab coffee, and I can promise that she is the same person in person that you are reading on her blog. So I'm looking forward to getting to work with her down the road, and I know that we harp on the networking thing quite a bit, but I mean, this is a big deal. You have to get out and meet people if you're going to make this thing work. You know, if you're going to have a career in entertainment in any way, you have to be out meeting people. And I know it's not always the easiest thing, and it's definitely not the most desirable thing all the time, but just making it a priority is definitely worth it. So again, head over to thefearlessactress.com, support Ashley, sign up for her newsletter. I know she's got some awesome stuff coming out there. And with that said, we will see you next time. I look forward to hearing from you. Go and grow.
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, are you insane?